You know that feeling when you scroll through a sea of glossy product photos, see a Riflescope that promises crystal clear night vision, and a laser rangefinder that'll never miss a shot, then you finally get it home, and it just doesn't live up to the hype. I've been there more than once, and that hesitation is exactly why I'm diving deep into today's review. The goal is to make sure you walk away with a clear idea of whether this particular thermal Riflescope is worth your hard-earned cash, or if you'd be better off putting that money towards something else. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what the Pulsar Thermion 2 LRF XP60 actually brings to the table. This isn't a budget-friendly unit. It sits squarely in the premium segment, marketed as a one-stop shop for both thermal imaging and laser ranging. That combination sounds great on paper, because it promises to eliminate the need for a separate rangefinder or a second optics rig. The heat-sensing sensor is a 640,480 detector, and the optics are listed as a 60mm objective with a 2.55 magnification range. The claim is that it can pick up a human-sized target at more than a kilometer in complete darkness. What matters, though, is how those numbers translate into a day-to-day hunting or tactical scenario. If you're the type of shooter who spends mornings tracking game in dense woodland, or a tactical operator who needs to move quickly from urban cover to open field, the Thermion 2's all-weather durability is a real selling point. The housing is sealed against rain, dust, and even sub-zero temperatures, which means you won't have to worry about the scope fogging up after a sudden temperature drop, or getting damaged by a sudden rainstorm during a late evening hunt. In my own field tests, I've seen similar scopes hold up when I tossed them in a raincoat and let them sit on a cold metal rail for an hour. The image stayed steady, and the rangefinder didn't glitch either. Now, the practical strengths really shine when you start using the built-in recording feature. The Thermion 2 can capture video directly to its internal storage while you're on the move. For someone who wants to review their shots later, or even share a hunting video with friends, that's a neat convenience. There's no need to set up a separate camera or worry about syncing footage. The recorded footage includes the range data overlay, so you get a comprehensive log of what you saw and how far the target was. This can be especially useful for training purposes. You can watch the clip and see exactly how the scope performed under varying lighting and distance conditions. Accuracy is another area where the Thermion 2 tries to differentiate itself. The laser rangefinder is built into the reticle, so you can lock onto a target, see the distance instantly, and make a quick holdover adjustment without taking your eyes off the sights. In a typical hunting scenario, this could shave a few seconds off your engagement time, which can be the difference between a clean shot and a missed opportunity. For tactical users, having that instant range data can also improve engagement confidence, especially when engaging at the longer end of the 1,000-yard mark. The scope's ballistic calculator can be programmed with your specific cartridge data, and it will automatically apply a holdover based on the measured range again, a real-world convenience you won't get from a simple thermal imager. However, as with any high-end piece of gear, there are trade-offs you need to be aware of. The biggest drawback is the weight. At just under 3 pounds, the XP60 is noticeably heavier than a standard 42,040 rifle scope. For a bolt-action rifle that you typically keep on a shoulder for long periods, the added weight can lead to fatigue, especially on a hot day when you're also wearing a heavy coat and a pack. Some users have reported that the extra heft throws off their balance when quickly transitioning between targets, which could be a problem in fast-moving tactical drills. If you're primarily interested in a lightweight, quick-draw setup, you might want to consider a lighter thermal scope or keep the rangefinder separate. Battery life is another practical concern. The Thermion 2 runs on a rechargeable lithium-ion pack that's claimed to provide up to 8 hours of continuous operation. In reality, when you're using the high-resolution thermal mode combined with the laser rangefinder and recording video, you'll see that the battery drains faster. In a typical 3-hour hunt, you'll probably need to keep a spare pack on hand. The downside is that swapping batteries mid-hunt can be a hassle, especially under cold conditions where the battery can become sluggish. It's a manageable issue, but it's something you have to plan for ahead of time. You also need to think about the interface. The menu system is relatively intuitive, but it does involve a learning curve if you're not already familiar with thermal imaging tech. You'll spend a few minutes navigating the various color palettes, zoom levels, and video quality settings before you become comfortable. That's